Hello, beautiful, amazing world. The topic of today will be resisting change and the effects upon the body, and the effects upon the body by changing and forming. When we resist something that is a hindrance, when we resist something that is necessary, but we don't dare doing it, we don't go above and beyond ourselves to actually get through this. We suppress it. No matter if we run away from it or not, it is still part of our being, experience, memories, body, soul. And by neglecting to heal it, by neglecting to take it and observe it and understand it, we let it cultivate by itself alone without light. It becomes something festering in our subconscious. It becomes physical ailments over time. This is obvious when you think about it. If you sit still without any form of motion or change, you ebb away, you fall, you lose something you normally would strengthen if you used it daily, if you used it consistently. This feeling of having the will and the impulse to change, but resisting it, is something that allows for illness. It doesn't belong here because it hasn't been transformed. It hasn't been understood. It is hidden away. It is ran away from. Because of this, we do not dare go inside ourselves and we only focus on the outside, because everything reminds us of these things. Everything reminds us of all the pains, the sufferings. But it will keep doing so until we take it forth. This is the truth. They are living memories, parts of our soul that hasn't been reconciled with. They haven't truly been loved yet. It is our children in a sense. All of our experiences, our reactions, our failures, but also our successes is part of us. And by acknowledging, honoring, respecting and loving, trying to nurture and to heal ourselves, we come into a certain rhythm of wanting to help others do the same by doing it for oneself. You show in examples and in deeds what you are doing. Of course, I do not film myself every day, all day, just to show people what I do, but I put out the results of what I achieve through my training. This will bring about a certain guidepost or inspiration to others. Others can then choose what to do after that. They can leave the information or take the information. This is freedom. Of course, I trust that what everyone speaks out in certain ways in awareness is for some or other human being out there that needs to hear something. The more aware we become to this moment and here, the more you see the reflection of our inner being is a big tableau on the outside. So how we feel, we suddenly see that reflected out in the reality. So if you have a certain state of being inside here, let's say a lot of pain and a lot of concerns and such, if you then watch YouTube, listen to music, watch TV, you will be given reminders of these things so that you can do something about them. Spirit is kind of strict teacher like that. Of course, always in love. They always do this for the best of all, for the best of individuals and all as groups. We are not meant to be huddled up in groups and in big masses and lose ourselves in the world, getting crushed and overwhelmed. We are not meant either to get lost to the world and disappear because we can't live in it. There is a balance here. And how we individually choose to operate in these two, and how we choose to balance it, how we consciously try to understand this. The balance between frivolity and duty, more or less. That work-play, beautiful relationship that work becomes play in a certain sense. Work becomes art. Art becomes work, and so on. And it becomes a living. It becomes a life-bringing way of lifestyle. The more we can focus on the different things we can revere, things we can have devotion to, a cause, something greater than our puny little ego and our puny little life alone. Cultivating and contemplating the world as a whole, the universe and the solar system, the constellations. How our constellations builds up both perspectives of things, but also our body parts, and how the planets brings about moods and how we observe things. And also how down here on Earth these forces are shining down to us, affecting us. Like the sun is shining down the etheric life formative forces, giving us life, and gives the plants life. And then you have the moon that draws in that intuitive subconscious inspiration, that emotional flow of things. Then you have the earthly, that is the physical body and our vessel to be able to have a individualized, limited viewpoint so that we can see reality from certain perspectives. We don't have the opportunity to do this when we are in between death and a new birth. But when we get down to earth again, we can start to focus on specific values, faculties, abilities that we were meant to cultivate. Like, for example, our mind, our intellect, and the understanding for our emotions, and the power to use our will for the good of all. When all comes to all, morals and ethics, if you don't do something immoral, you destroy something within you and in the world that is of help. And that is why it feels painful every time we do it. And the more we do it, the weaker we become to these temptations. But the more you resist them, the more they fall away and barely exists in the perspective of things. They are only there as challenges to be overcome. We are in constant change. This illusion that we are only here and are supposed to stay there. Learn your place, know your place. Who have the right to say these things? Our leaders don't even know what they are doing. They don't have any spiritual guidance anymore. We have been having this for for centuries and millennia. And now all of a sudden we think we know the best, right? We think we know everything now. The universe is dead, there is only molecules, atoms, and we know now. We know that we are completely useless, that we are meaningless, you see? This is absolutely not the case. The divine have created us in their image, to actually behave in their image, to shine out in their image, to actually be more than animals, to be more than mechanisms. We are more than mechanisms. It is self-evident. Try seeing a mechanism and try seeing a human being. Try seeing an animal and try seeing a human being. Of course, we can find similarities. But we try to find what is fully and truly human. what is separate from animals, then you will start to see what to cultivate. Then you will see where you want to go. The intricacy of it all. The many different places in this life to study. And it never gets boring. How can this world be boring? We have become jaded. We have become spoiled. Spoiled rotten, more or less. Sit in that. And cultivate the new ways of living. It is not impossible. We have everything we need within us. All we need to do is start. All we need to do is take care of it. To begin the journey. That is every individual's choice and freedom to do. But it has to be begun. It has to be slowly, day by day, moment by moment, trained, practiced. May the divine guide you, everyone, and me, and you, on this path of finding God and the Spirit. Thank you all. Love you. Goodbye.